Shabadoo, shabadee. Shabadee, shabadoo.
What's up, guys? I've been in the lab perfecting some mesh dyeing techniques. I got my lab coat on. Doesn't really fit. I asked my wife, hey, do you have a lab coat? She's like, yeah. Why do you have a lab coat? Anyway, we have a lab coat. I wish it fit. It's pretty sweet. Okay, I'm going to take it off though because I'm hot. Alright, so dyeing heads, you know, I got that pretty much covered. But mesh dyeing. And I remember when I first saw the Mark Mesh Argyle a couple years ago, year and a half ago, I was like, what? Because I had dyed mesh, one color and then a fade. I remember then thinking, all right, I don't want the fade. I want just a solid line through the middle. And I couldn't do it. And it's hard. Anybody who's dyed mesh knows those clean straight lines are very difficult. Mark Mesh is sort of like the gold standard in dyed mesh. They know what they're doing. East Coast Dyes, they came out with that breast cancer awareness mesh, and then their stars and bars. That's clean. They've figured something out, and it looks good. The other mesh guys are doing dyes, and they're starting to look good. Throwing up string, that he's doing some dyes, and they're getting cleaner and cleaner. Nobody's hit the Mark Mesh mark yet. Actually, there's a kid, Mountain Mesh. He's got an Argyle that's really clean. And so I remember looking at that, actually, a couple days ago when I started this journey to figure out how to dye mesh. I was searching for Argyle mesh and, you know, Mark Mesh, all the different stripes and, you know, the Canadian flag and all that stuff they've got. It's just, it's amazing. And I don't know, or I didn't know how they did it. I still don't know how they do it. But anyway, I started with a mesh, and I was thinking, I hadn't seen any vertical dyes, vertical lines, and this was my first attempt, and it's not clean. There's a lot of bleed. I like the color on the sides, but it's a pretty ugly mesh, and it's not that clean. So it's blue, black, and red, so it's three colors, first of all, which is difficult. I waxed these up. This one is actually a new formula. I found an ingredient that I think is going to be pretty cool, and I've sort of worked it into what I usually do. I haven't tested it yet. I haven't strung it up or played with it, so I don't know how it works. But so there's my first attempt, and if you here, let me bring this closer. And if you look here, you know, there's quite a bit of bleed in the red, and anyone who's dyed mesh knows when you go vertical, these double seams where the two diamonds meet, the dye gets in there in the fibers and it just sucks it right through, and it bleeds a lot. So I wouldn't recommend going vertical. So right here, you know, where red meets black, that's a tough place to dye. It's a tough place to avoid bleed. But it was a good first attempt. Next, I learned some things from that, and so I did a stars and stripes, and I wanted to do it a little differently. I left these little spots of white in between diamonds where they cross over, where they see the seams, thinking it would look like stars, and that came out okay. Tiny little bit of bleed, but on my red, I got a lot of bleed. So, and here especially, I don't know what happened there. I mean, I was using a technique up here, the same as down here, and something went funny. It's still, I mean, you know, it's not great. It's not even that good, but it kind of has the beeswax in the wax kind of gave it a yellowish tint. So I don't know how it looks here under these lights, but in person, it's got a yellowish tint. It kind of looks like an old flag. And I think if I spread these out, you know, those will look like stars, which is pretty cool. So I may revisit this. 5, 10, 15, 20, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 stars. pretty sick. You know, that's pretty sweet. The red sort of blows. I just hit myself in the face with it. The red sort of blows. Whatever. So after that one, I learned some more things, and I did an Argyle. Now you might notice right off the bat that my pattern is shifted this way. So this one should be over a little bit. So this line. So I mean, it started up here, and also I didn't have my my jig set up properly. So it started off poorly, but I kept moving ahead and just was going to use it as a practice mesh. Down here I just went black. But what the real test was here. I'm going to pull you closer. Getting this vertical black line and trying not to get bleed through the seam into the next diamond, and that worked out pretty well. There's a tiny bit, but overall, you know, that's clean. And it came out nice. I mean, that's a good looking mesh. Alright, I'm back. My memory card was full. So yeah, I was talking about this one. This one I like. Came out real nice. And so with this one I was super encouraged because I figured some things out with bleed. And this is my last one, which almost flawless. It's an Argyle, pink and purple. I don't know if you can see the details. Also, my new, well, all of them have my new wax mixture. But this one's clean, super clean, and I really like the way it came out. And I'm not going to do a tutorial for this because I know there are guys out there making money. You know, this is their livelihood, selling mesh. It just took some ingenuity. You guys who are gonna, I know people are gonna ask me for a tutorial. You can figure this out. It's not that difficult. You just have to just really think about it for a while. Put on your lab coat. I had to build something to help, and if I fine-tune that, I think I can churn this stuff out. But like I said, I'm not going into the mesh business. It's not really my thing. I'll probably sell some locally. You know, kids will want it, and I sort of want people more than just me to test it. My kids use it. This mixture I'm pretty excited about, but you know, and I may make a few more of these just for fun, just to have. But you guys who are selling mesh and want to get into more intricate dyes, just think about it. Practice. You know, I bought, I had 20 soft, 15mm soft meshes from Gimalax, and I probably burned through 4. I probably wasted 4. Just dyeing a little bit, you know, a little bit here, trying different things, different techniques, different ways to, different tools, until I figured it out. But I figured it out. So, hooray for me. And that's it. Oh, I got this Warrior Nemesis that I'm going to do a dye on. I have a super good idea for a goalie head. So be on the lookout for that video. Adios.
Which one of you schnooks took my rhyme book? Look, give it back. You whack with your ticky-tack claws. Didn't touch you at all.